Welcome to Cat and Jess Talk the Best, where we're going to be talking about IMDb's top 250 movies from April 12th, 2018. My name is Kat.
And I'm Jess.
And today we are talking about number 206, Logan, which is an action drama sci-fi film from 2017. This has an 8.1 on 546,440 votes. The spoiler-free synopsis: in the near future, a weary Logan cares for an ailing Professor X at a remote outpost on the Mexican border. His plan to hide from the outside world gets upended when he meets a young mutant who is very much like him. Logan must now protect the girl and battle the dark forces that want to capture her.
Yeah, that's a good synopsis of it.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is directed by James Mangold. He directed also The Wolverine, Walk the Line, and Girl Interrupted. And the stars Hugh Jackman, of course, as Wolverine. Sir Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and Dafne Keen as, of course, the young mutant. Though we find out her name is Laura in the movie.
That little girl was good.
Loved her.
She's British and Spanish.
I love that combination.
That's freaking awesome.
Like, so I knew she is like that Spanish. She said in the movie. Ooh.
It looks like she's only done a few things. She's got a TV show that she's in coming up this year, and another movie that she's in. But other than that, the only thing besides Logan she's done so far is The Refugees, which is a Spanish TV show.
Oh, nice.
Yep. But yeah, she's a cute little kid. She does a great job. So, ratings. IMDb, 27.6% of users rated this at an 8. Under 18 age group was the group to rate this the highest. On Metacritic, this got a 77. Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 93% on 383 critical reviews. 357 are fresh and 26 are rotten. 2 of the fresh. Peter Travers, make no mistake, Logan earns its tears. If Jackman and Stewart are serious about this being their mutant X-Men swan song, they could not have crafted a more heartfelt valedictory.
I agree.
Yep.
Completely.
I definitely agree. David Sims, Jackman and Stewart are why Logan works, why the film doesn't feel like a cheap exercise in bloody violence, and its subversion of typical superhero movie tropes feels organic. Yeah.
Okay. That's a little confusing to me, but okay.
2 rotten. Rex Reed, another expensive throwaway aimed at milking money out of people who still read comic books. Color it stupid. I feel like this guy's just upset because he doesn't like comic books.
That's what it sounds like to me, too. Like, don't bash on people because you don't like comic books.
Yeah, I mean, just because, I read every type of book. But there are some people that comic books just are not for. And I'm guessing he's one of them.
I guess so.
And then this last one, I just picked it because I thought it was funny. Damian Straker, Logan makes sadism fun.
Really?
I thought it was funny. His total review was a 2.5 out of 5 stars. So his was just kind of in the middle. That's why his was so rotten. But I thought that line was funny, so that's why I picked it.
Yeah, that is a pretty funny line.
Well, because most of the other ones were just bashing on stuff that... It's like the first one. Just bashing on the fact that it was a comic book movie. Like, okay,
then don't watch it.
Yeah, if you know you don't like comic book movies, then don't go watch a comic book movie. So the consensus, Hugh Jackman makes the most of his final outing as Wolverine with a gritty, nuanced performance in a violent but surprisingly thoughtful superhero action film that defies genre conventions.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
Alright, so the money. The budget for this film was $97 million. Its opening weekend, it made $88,411,916. It opened in 4,071 theaters, and it was in theaters for 133 days. The domestic gross was $226,277,068. Foreign gross, or I guess international gross, was $392,744,368 for a worldwide gross of $619,021,436. Its highest all-time rank, it hit April 30th of 2017, was number 137.
That's about like a month and a half after it came out.
Yeah. So the awards, it was nominated for 1 Oscar, and it had 24 other wins and 70 other nominations. The Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films, Patrick Stewart won Best Supporting Actor. The Actors Guild Excellence in Production Design Award for a Contemporary Film. Awards Circuit Community Awards, Honorable Mention, the next 10 Best Picture contenders. Chicago Independent Film Critics Circle Awards, Best Film Studio. Empire Awards, Best Actor, Best Female Newcomer. Golden Schmoes, Favorite Movie of the Year, Best Actor of the Year, Best Supporting Actress of the Year, Most Memorable Scene in a Movie. I'm not going to say what because it's a spoiler. Mm-hmm. Best DVD/Blu-ray of the Year, Best Supporting Actor of the Year. Golden Trailer Awards, Best Music, IGN Summer Movie Awards. Best Supporting Performer in a Movie, Best Action Movie, Best Lead Performer in a Movie, Best Supporting Performer in a Movie. Kansas City Film Critics Circle. Best Adapted Screenplay. Los Angeles Online Film Critics Society Awards, Best Supporting Actor. MTV and TV Awards, Best Duo for Wolverine and Laura. I agree, they're a really good duo.
Agreed.
National Board of Review. This is in the top films. It's not in the registry. Whoops.
Yet.
Yeah, yet. It probably will be. I think there's a specific time frame, like a specific amount of time that the movie has to be out before it can be on the registry.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Online Film and Television Association, Best Movie Trailer for the first theatrical trailer. Huh.
Nice.
So, initial thoughts. This was only 2 years ago that this came out.
Yeah, and I remember that day very clearly.
I remember going to see the movie, but I don't remember anything else.
March 3rd, 2 years ago. Well, March 3rd is Logan and I's anniversary.
Oh, okay.
And this is also a very important movie to me because I have my Logan. So it was on our anniversary that we saw it. And also, I am like a huge, like, I've always loved the character Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I knew this was going to be like the last of the trilogy. And I knew this was going to be Hugh Jackman's like last portrayal. So I was like super excited for it. And then when I saw it, I was like blown away. It's like, I think it's like one of the best movies. Just like superhero movies.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
It's like, for me, it's like way up there. completely way up there.
I enjoyed it a lot when we went and saw it. I don't remember if we saw it the Thursday it came out, but I know we saw it opening weekend.
Yeah, I saw it the 3rd. Exactly.
So that Friday.
It was our anniversary.
Yeah.
So I was like, Logan, can we go see Logan? He's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I do remember I was, like, really shocked at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew they were going to do something, but I was just really shocked by it. I really love that little girl. I'm excited to see what else she does.
She's amazing.
She's great. So I'm pretty excited for that new movie that she's got coming out later this year. I just don't know if it's a Spanish movie or not, so I don't know if we'll get it immediately, but I'll find out. I don't know how many times I've seen this since, because Sean really likes this movie, so he watches it quite a bit. Yeah, I enjoy this movie. It's pretty good.
Yep, I love it. I do. I've been, like, a Wolverine fan since I was, like, little.
Yeah.
With the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I first really started liking it, the character, so.
And then Hugh Jackman played him, and it just made it even better for you.
Oh, I know. That's in my trivia.
I don't think I have anything else on initial thoughts.
No, I don't. I'm good.
Alright.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
That was your warning. If you haven't watched the film yet, then stop listening and come back after you've watched it. So Logan wakes up in the backseat of a car.
Yeah.
Because there's, like, sounds outside. And he gets out of the car and he goes around and he sees there's some guys trying to steal the wheels off of the limo that he was sleeping in.
And he's like, guys, you're doing it wrong. You're gonna strip it.
Yeah, because didn't he, it's like, it's titanium or something like that?
Something. I don't remember the exact thing. Or like chrome?
Chrome, yeah, I think it's chrome.
Yeah.
The guys decide to shoot Logan.
Yeah, they just like flat out shoot him and they're like, he's like flat out on the ground.
Yep. And he gets back up. He's not very happy.
No, I mean, when you get shot, you'd be pretty pissed off too.
Yeah. Well, normally when people get shot the way he got shot, they'd be dead.
I know, but again, this is Wolverine.
Yes. So he
Who
fights
heals quickly.
Yep. He fights the guys.
Yeah, completely. Like,
he's kind of like going easy on him at first, and then one of them shoots like he's aiming the shotgun at Logan, and it ends up hitting the limo, and he gets really mad because the limo's a rental.
Yeah.
So he then decides to kill them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of slicing going on.
Yeah.
And you see that, like, with his claws, they don't, like, it's harder for them to come out. It's more painful. And, like, one doesn't come out all the way.
Yeah. Throughout, like, the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, you find out why.
Yeah.
Why it's, like, taking him so long to, like, you know, get his claws out or to heal.
Yeah.
You find out a little bit later.
But so he drives off and leaves the dead guys.
Yeah.
And we find out that is his job now. He is a limo driver.
Yeah, and he goes to change and, like, he's getting all these bullets that were shot into him, but it's really, actually really painful because it's so slow.
Yeah.
And you see that the year is 2029.
Yep, you hear that in a commercial on the radio or something.
I saw it on his license.
Oh, I heard it on the radio.
Oh, I saw it on his license, and it says he's going by James Howlett.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. I was probably riding at that time. That's why I didn't see it. Because I don't remember seeing his license.
Yeah. It's like, it's hanging, like, right near where he's driving.
Yeah, because, it's like taxi drivers and limo drivers, they have to have their license displayed. Because I think they have a special license for doing that. I think. I'm not 100%
I was like,
sure.
I know you'll have to have, like, an endorsement for it.
Yeah.
Because I know with, like, commercial truck drivers, you have to have that, too.
Yeah. But so he is at a funeral, and he has dropped off the people that he was hired to take there. And, he's, like, standing away from the funeral, because he obviously does not know these people. So he's like, I'm not going to intrude, I'm just the limo driver.
Exactly.
And then this woman comes up and is, like, trying to talk to him about some new mutants.
Yeah.
And he says there hasn't been new mutants in years, and, like, tries to get her to go away, and then she starts yelling at him in the middle of this people's funeral. I'm like, that's really rude, lady.
Yeah, she's, like, asking for his help, and he's like, no.
Yep.
Nope. But, you know, if you know the character, that's not unusual for him.
Yeah, no, he doesn't ever want to help anybody.
Nope. It's like as, you know, funerals ended and everything, Logan's helping the lady back to the limo.
Mm-hmm.
You see that lady driving away in this car, and you see this little girl in the back.
Yeah. And we learn a little bit later that that is Laura.
Yes, that is Laura. Next day?
Yep, next day he's at a hospital. Like outside a hospital. He doesn't go in. And he meets up with this nurse who's standing outside, and he goes and buys something from him, which we can only assume is drugs, because why else would he be talking to a nurse?
Yeah.
And at the moment, we don't really know why he's buying these, but we see this guy with a metal hand watching him.
Yeah.
And Logan goes back to his limo, and the guy with the metal hand gets into the limo, and he starts explaining, like, why he's there and everything. 'Cause he says that he knows the woman that talked to him yesterday at the funeral, and she has something that he wants.
Yeah.
Tends to be the conversation.
And he calls her Gabriella, right?
Yeah, that's her name.
And then he's like, if she talks to you, call me. And gives him a card from Tansigen.
Something like that, yeah.
So then he's going back.
Yeah.
He's crossing the border, actually. Because he was in Texas or Arizona. Because I know earlier it said Texas.
I think he's still in Texas.
I think it was like El Paso.
In the El Paso area.
Yeah. So he's going across the border. And on the other side of the border is, he drives to like this abandoned plant. Yeah. It's where he talks with Caliban.
The albino.
Yes, the albino.
And we learn a little bit later that his powers are, he's a tracker.
Yes.
And we
Track
also...
mutants.
Yeah. And he's also very, very sensitive to light.
Very sensitive. Like, he will... It's painful.
Yeah, he like burns in the sun. So if he goes outside, he has to have a hat and some goggles and like fully covered and everything.
Yeah, that's not fun.
And then they're having a conversation about someone who seems like they're sick. And that's why that's why Logan got the drugs from the nurse. And then we see him go outside to this big round thing. And in there is Professor X.
And Professor X is just like wheeling around like rambling.
Do you know what he was rambling? Because I do. Because I thought it was hilarious.
Go ahead.
He's going on and on, making up his own Taco Bell commercial.
That's awesome.
When I watched this for this time, that's when I noticed it, because I'd never noticed it before. I thought he was just going on and on about something ridiculous. And he's making up his own Taco Bell commercial. Thought it was hilarious. Yep.
Oh, Xavier.
Yep. But we hear that, or we see that he's kind of going crazy and that his powers are becoming out of his control.
Yeah, Kiz is, he's pretty old at this point. He's in his 90s, and so he's, usually as you get older, sometimes you develop,
medical issues.
Medical issues like Alzheimer's, dementia, all that stuff. He has one of those.
Yeah.
And that's causing him to have his seizures.
And when he has his seizures, he can't control his powers.
No.
So we see one of these seizures, and it's just like, the way they did it was really cool, the way they did his seizures, because just like everything just does this rippling effect, and it completely tears down the albino guy. And Logan, because of his powers, is able to withstand it a little bit, so he's able to give Professor Xavier his shot to stop him from having the seizure.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's a really cool effect how they did it, because everyone is frozen.
Yeah.
But it's shaking in pain almost.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool.
Yep. We learn that he's also, the dementia thing, he doesn't really recognize or know Logan sometimes.
It happens.
Yeah.
That's pretty common.
Yeah. And then we also learn, because they're talking about it, because Professor X is saying that he has been communicating with new mutants.
Yeah.
And Logan's like, that's impossible. There haven't been any new mutants in 15 years. None have been born.
That was 25 years.
Oh, I thought he said 15. It's somewhere in there.
25.
Okay. I was saying somewhere in there.
I was I'm pretty sure it's 25, because that's what I wrote down.
I wrote down 15. Unless that's supposed to be a 2, and I just wrote it really weird. Because now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like how I write my 1s, so it's probably a 2.
It was 25 years, that's 2004.
4.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Timeline-wise, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, after you, what was it? What else?
I think he goes back inside after he gives him all the medicine and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
He's talking to the albino guy. And the albino guy is really worried about not only Xavier, but also Logan. Because I guess he does the laundry. And he found an adamantium bullet in Logan's pocket.
Now that's important.
Yeah. Logan takes it from him.
Yeah. Well, the adamantium is what Logan's skeleton is made out of.
Yeah, and his claws.
Well, technically, they were bone, but then they just put it all over him.
Yeah.
And that's really the only way that would kill him.
Mm-hmm. It's the only thing that can kill him.
And it is killing him slowly,
yeah.
Actually.
Because they took out, well, they didn't take out, but they redid his skeleton, in the earlier movies with the adamantium. And because he, like you said, his claws were made out of bone. But they took them out and redid them with the adamantium. And so he's been being poisoned since World War II? No, just kidding. Wrong person. He's been being poisoned since, the 80s.
Yeah, ever since he got that.
Yeah.
And so it's just slowly just been killing him.
Yeah.
Over time. And now it just, it's at this point, he's close.
Yeah.
It's it's gonna kill him eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the old man, Logan. So.
So we were at the part where he is going to talk to Gabriella. Isn't that her name? That lady that was yelling at him at the cemetery?
Yeah.
He goes to the motel where she's staying.
It's so funny. I love that part because right before this, like when the Caliban's just talking to him about, he's like, he tosses him this medicine. He's saying that it's not enough for Xavier. He's like, if you looked at that closely, you'll see it's just ibuprofen. You need glasses. That part just cracks me up.
And the pills are just ibuprofen too. Like when you see them, they're not actually.
They are. They're just ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Motel.
Yep. Logan is talking to
Gabriella.
Yep. I keep forgetting her damn name.
And he drives there and he sees the little girl, Laura. She's playing with a ball.
Outside. And they're talking and Gabriella's asking him to take them somewhere and trying to give him money for it. Like, here's the money, I'll pay you this money, can you just take us to this place? And she gives him the envelope and it's got coordinates on it.
To North Dakota.
Yep. He basically says no at first. He's like, I don't want to.
But she's like, she begs.
Yeah.
And he's like, alright, fine.
Yeah.
He's like, it's mostly for the money right there.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know much, like at all. He just knows someone's after her.
Yeah.
And the girl. He's like, but money. Because he wants to take him and Charles away on a boat.
Yep. Because he figures if they're out in the ocean, then he can't really hurt anyone with his powers when he has the seizures.
It's true. I can see the logic there.
Yeah.
I mean, then when, this sounds morbid, but, if they're out on the sea and Xavier just dies, he can just dump him overboard.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just saying. That's messed up way to think about it, but...
So, Laura's outside playing with the ball, and she's throwing it around, and she breaks a window.
Yes.
So the manager of the motel comes out, and was, like, yelling at Gabriella because of Laura.
And Logan's there, he's like, shut up.
Yeah. And she passes out. Or at least that's what it looks like. She kind of, falls over. And, Laura's trying to get him to help. Next thing I wrote is found woman dead. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, yeah, he goes back and tells him about he tells Charles and Caliban about the money. He's like, I'll be gone for a few days,
Yeah.
It's like, but we can go, we get to leave,
Yeah. We can go do what we planned.
After this.
Yeah.
And then that's when he gets a text saying, hurry.
Isn't it from, my guess is it's probably from Laura. Laura typed it out because by the time Logan gets there, Gabriella's dead.
Well, there's the first one, and then he responds, and then there's another one that was half typed up.
So maybe it was from Gabriella. I don't know, it could be from either one of them.
That's true. But yeah, he does go back, and he sees Gabriella's been killed, and Laura's not there.
Yeah. But the mutant hunter guy, with the metal hand, he's there. And he's talking, or no, I think at this point he's gotten back to,
yeah, he goes back
to the power plant thing, and that's when the mutant hunter guy shows up, and they're talking to him, and,
before that, I believe it's, Caliban sees that the trunk is open in the limo.
Yeah.
And Logan finds the ball and her backpack.
Yep, so he knows that the little girl is there somewhere.
Yeah, and then Charles comes out.
With her.
And they're talking.
Yeah.
And he's takes her in. He's like, this is what I've been talking about.
Yeah. He's like, this is it. This is the person. I'm not crazy. Except for he
Yep.
kind of is going crazy, but, you know.
Then the metal hand dude comes up.
That's right. Because they think it's a train at first, and Logan goes outside to look, and he's like, that's not a train. And
He's
it's
like,
a big truck that he drives in.
yeah.
So he comes out, and he's like, he's mad that Logan didn't contact him after he talked to Gabriella.
And, like, he's like, I'm pretty sure she's here.
Yeah, the kid, Laura.
And Logan's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's not here.
But then, doesn't she, like, come up behind him and smack him over the head with something?
With a pipe. She throws a pipe at his head.
That's it. And then she throws another pipe towards Logan, and he catches it.
It's like, dude.
Well,
It's like, she's so feisty.
Doesn't really know who's gonna hurt her, so
She just attacks whoever.
yeah.
And so Logan's like, to Calvin, he's like, go take that dude, just dump him somewhere, and come back.
Yeah.
But as he's dumping it, there's more people that show up and surround him.
Uh-huh. And so they're like trying to leave, and they're gonna leave without Laura. Like, she's not in the car when they're trying to leave. Because Logan's like, at this point, I don't even care.
He's like, I don't give two fucks.
He's trying to save Xavier.
Yeah, I
And-
mean,
that's good for him, but also it's kind of bad. Like, you need to save the kid, too. This is a new mutant. Like, there haven't been new ones in years. And you're not gonna save this one.
no. I think he has to, with Logan and his character-wise, he has to develop a type of relationship with them. He's not just going to be like an outgoing person and be like, oh, I'm going to save you. No, that's just not in his character.
Yeah, that's kind of like how he was with Rogue.
Yeah. It was like, so he's being consistent.
Yeah.
He's not being like, oh, it's a child. I'm going to help you. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Charles, of course, is a very sweet man. And
Yeah.
he'll help anybody. I mean, he ran a school, for God's sakes.
Yeah, school for mutants, so he's definitely like, yep, we're gonna help this kid. And, so they're, like, trying to leave and everything, and they get trapped by all the other mutant hunters that come up. And, so they get out to fight. Well, Logan gets out to fight. Because he's going to try and figure out how to get away. And, Laura decides to help him, because if not, she's going to get taken, and she knows these people, so she doesn't want to get taken.
Yeah. I like how, like, she's inside, and they come in to get her, and she's just eating her cereal.
Yeah, she's
Just minding her own business.
munching away.
It's, like, quiet, and then you hear, like, a bunch of just, like, craziness going on.
Yep.
And it's quiet. Then she comes outside and rolls her head out.
Yep. And we find out she has claws like Logan does.
Yeah. She has 2, not 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically she has 3.
Well, you don't see that yet, but she does have 3. It's just in
Yeah.
a different spot.
Yeah, her third one is not in the same spot Logan's is.
No. She's 2 in her hands, and I'll say it now. She's got 1 in each foot.
Yep. So she still has 6 claws like Logan does, but hers are split up. And it's kind of cool because Xavier tells about how I think he's talking about female lions or tigers
female
or
lions.
how they use their back feet to protect themselves. And it makes sense as to why she has the claws in her feet. She knows how to use her claws really well. Because her and Logan kind of decimate these guys.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. So they get away. And they leave the albino guy.
Well, they don't know where he was because he was captured.
Yeah. But they have to leave him.
Yeah.
And, while they're driving, like, running away from the mutant hunter guys, Professor X is trying to get Logan to realize who Laura is. Because he's obviously been communicating with her with his powers. Because she still has not spoken a word.
No.
And she probably definitely knows who she is.
Yeah. I mean, she's got the claws out of her hands.
She's got the regenerative powers.
Yeah. So she heals quickly.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I
Logan,
think she figured it out.
Yeah, Logan doesn't want to admit.
Doesn't want to admit she's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And, there's this part also during this as they're driving away. They're torturing Caliban to get him to use his powers.
Yeah.
To track them down.
Yeah.
Like, they expose him to the sun, and he is just burning.
Yeah.
Like, that looked painful.
Yeah. And then we see Gabriella's video. It's on her phone. It's of the facility where Laura grew up. And there's a whole bunch of other kids. And we find out that these people have been making mutants.
Yes.
So they are kids that have been born, but they manipulate them to where they have the powers that they want. We only see about half of the video, and then the phone dies. So, Professor X is guilt-tripping Logan into helping Laura.
Yeah.
Because at this point, he's just like, no, we're going to Oregon, or something like that.
He's like, I'm not taking her.
Yeah.
Charles like, come on.
Yeah.
She's just like you.
Yeah, it's funny. So they go to a convenience store, and we see Laura walking around, and she's getting all kinds of snacks. She gets some sunglasses, and then
like a drink. It's great.
Yeah. The guy comes up and is talking to her. He's like, where are your parents? Like, you can't just have this stuff. You can't take it. And she pulls her claws out like she's gonna attack him, but Logan stops her.
He's like, not okay.
Yeah.
But then he takes a phone charger and some, like, cigars. Like,
yeah.
You're not being a good example.
No. I mean, he did stop her from killing him, so...
That's about as far as he got.
Yeah.
He's like, nope.
Yeah.
Almost like Sweet Hannibal.
Yeah, pretty much. He charges up the phone and then he finishes up the video. She talks about how she's trying to save these kids. And how there's that place in North Dakota. And he talks a little bit about that.
Eden.
Yeah. And then they get to a casino. They're going to stay in the hotel at the casino. It's funny, they're in the elevator going upstairs and he pushes the button for the floor and then she starts pushing all the buttons. Because she's a child.
Yeah.
So they are in the hotel room and everything, and they have a Western on. Which I think is kind of cool. I don't remember which one it is, though. Because I've seen bits and pieces of that one, because I recognized it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the name of it. But she's watching it. And I can't tell if X is actually watching it, or if he's sleeping.
He's watching it with her.
Oh, okay. I just couldn't really tell. But so Logan went through her backpack and found her comic books.
Her X-Men comic books.
Yes.
And he flips through it and he sees that part of one of the comic books talks about Eden.
Yeah. And so he is really mad because now he thinks this is a made-up place.
Yeah.
So Logan is yelling and screaming and really mad.
He's just like, ugh.
Yeah. And then we see that the mutant hunters are at the convenience store that they were at. And then we see Logan is trying to find a new ride because he can't really drive around a messed up limo. So he ditches that.
Yeah.
And then he goes and buys a big truck, and the lady's like telling him, oh, it's this much and we can get the paperwork done. We'll put some new tires on it for you. And he's like, I'll give you like 200, 300 more or something like that for no paperwork. And she's like, well, you're still going to need new tires.
Yeah.
So he goes to the bar across the street.
For an hour.
Yeah.
Because they said it'd only take an hour.
Yeah. And he's... Oh, we kind of missed it. When he ditches the limo, he's getting some stuff out of the back seat, and he finds one of the pills.
Yes.
That Xavier's supposed to be taking. While he's at the bar waiting on the tires of the new truck, he's looking through the comic books, and he sees the same coordinates that were on the envelope.
Same ones.
So now he's really, really mad. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. This is not real. This is fake. It's all made up. And he later on, he tries to convince Laura of that, but she's like, no.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the hotel, and he sees that the mutant hunters are there. And then he's making his way in, and Xavier starts to have another seizure.
Yep.
And this one's a bad one, because it's affecting everyone down in the casino, everyone in the hotel, people out on the street. Like, they don't even know what's going on. So, Logan's not 100% affected by it, so he makes his way up very slowly. He, claws into the wall so he can drag himself down the hallway.
Yeah.
Without falling over. And it's super cool because the guys the mutant hunters are in the room, and that's why Professor X, he was starting to use his powers, and that's why he had the seizure, is because he was trying to use too much of his powers to stop the guys to protect Laura. Which, I don't know if that she needs that much protecting, but they did have guns, so, But so, Xavier is doing his little seizure thing. And Logan, it's kind of like a slow motion, kills all the guys in the room.
And Laura does the same thing, too, actually.
Yeah, she kills a few of them, too. And then they work together. She gets the little medicine thing and gives it to Logan to give to Xavier, and that stops his seizure. And that's when he says, I had no other choice.
Yeah.
And as they're leaving, Xavier sees what he did to everyone, and he's super upset about it.
He's like, sorry.
Yeah. And then we hear they're in the car, and we hear the radio report about all the what happened and everything, and Laura's playing with the lock. And he tells her to stop. And she doesn't. And she just turns and looks at him and keeps going. And it's just so funny. I'm like, oh my god.
I felt that was something you would do.
That's definitely something I would do. If I'm sitting there playing with something and you tell me to stop, you're going to get the most evil look, and I'm going to continue to play with it.
I know you too well.
Sean will tell you that's exactly what fucking happens.
Doesn't surprise me. At all.
Xavier and Logan are arguing about whether or not they're going to take her to Eden, because Logan's like, it's a made-up place, it's all in her comic books, it's not real. And then Xavier's like, yeah, it's real.
He's like, it's real for her.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not doing shit anyways, go.
Yeah.
So, this part is that as they're driving, they have to, swerve.
Uh-huh.
To get, because they're gonna get, this truck is, pushing them off the road.
Yeah, it's so it's 18-wheelers, but they don't have the truck part anymore. They're just automated. They drive themselves.
Yeah, and it pushes them off the road.
Yeah. And, they kind of are swerving all over both sides of the road, and they accidentally run this other truck off the road that had a trailer and had horses, and so they're stopped on the other side, and Xavier's like, we need to go help them. And he's like, Logan's like, well, somebody else will come along, and they're like, somebody has come along. So Logan goes over there to help him, and he gets out, and he's like going to help round him up, but Xavier uses his powers to calm down the horses and get them to go back to the trailer.
Yep.
And then Logan helps him push the truck out of the ditch because it's kind of like down off the road a little bit and it's stuck in the mud.
Yep.
And so that family invites them to dinner for helping them because they don't live very far from there. And Logan's like, no, but Xavier's like, yes.
Yes, please.
And they say that Xavier is Logan's dad and Logan is Laura's dad.
Yes. And they're taking a family trip.
Yep. So they have dinner, and they're just kind of having a normal dinner, like normal dinner with strangers. You're just asking about each other's lives and where they're going, what they're doing, all that kinds of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done that. But so, while they are having dinner, we see the mutant hunters. They're off on, or I think it's them. It might be the other guys that shut off the water, or shut off the power in the water and everything.
Yeah.
But we see some trucks driving out on the road, and then the power and the water and all that goes out. And they're saying that they have to go out to the pump station because sometimes it gets shut off by douchebags.
Yeah. Because they had offered to let him stay there for the night.
Yep.
And Logan's like, no. And Xavier's like,
yes,
yeah.
please.
Yeah. And he's like, I am in my 90s. We haven't had a decent night of sleep. Give me one night.
Let me sleep in a bed. So Logan says he'll go help the dad with the water thing. So they head out there, and Laura's hanging out with the son. He's probably about 15, 16 years old.
Teenager.
Yeah. And he's sitting there listening to music, and Laura is so confused. She's never seen this thing in her life.
Well, yeah.
So she takes it. He offers her an earbud, and she takes it and listens to it with them.
And he's like, do you like it? And she shakes her head. She's like, here, you can listen for it tonight. I'll get back for you in the morning.
Yeah.
Just very nice of him.
Yeah. And so Logan is out helping the dad with the water pump, and there's some guys out there who they don't like the people at the farm. They don't like them because they're racist douchebags. So they're giving them a hard time, but they do get the water turned back on because Logan threatens them with his claws.
Yeah, he, what was it?
I don't think he attacks them, but he pulls his claws out and it's like, says something threatening.
He pops one with a gun. That's what it was.
Yeah, there we go. That's it. That's how the douchebags, the racist guys leave. And they get the water turned back on. And then we see Xavier's talking to Logan. But this Logan looks a lot younger.
Well, he's talking about how he's like, this is like one of the best days I've ever had.
Yeah. He's happy to be spending time like a real family, pretty much.
Yeah. And then he's like, you know, because there's some parts, like, especially with, like, dementia and Alzheimer's, that you actually remember things. And he's like, oh, I remember what happened.
Yeah.
Because it was like a year before what happened in Westchester. Something like that. Where he had one of his seizures, and what happened was it was so powerful it like killed a bunch of X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like so sad and remorseful about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so sad. I don't like to see Xavier sad.
Well, and it sucks because at that point, like, he's already lost control of his powers.
Yeah.
And so he knows that it's his fault that these X-Men are dead, but there was nothing he could do about it.
No, nothing. That's sad.
Yeah. But the younger Logan he shoves his claws through Professor X's chest. And
yeah.
I was so shocked. I mean, I knew something was gonna happen to Xavier, but I didn't know that they were gonna make Wolverine do it. I mean, I know it wasn't Wolverine, but it was Wolverine.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know they were gonna do that, and I was so shocked by this. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, that looks like Logan, but it's not.
Yeah.
I'm like, he would never do that.
No.
Ever. Yeah, that was like, what?
Yeah. But so Laura comes in and she,
Well, she's asleep on the floor.
Oh, okay, I didn't know where she was.
She was on the floor listening to music, and she was looking at a picture she had.
Oh, okay.
Of all of her friends.
Gotcha.
And she hears all this, and she's like, starts to, like, attacks him.
Yeah. And, but he somehow manages to get the restraints on her. So, it's like her hands are restrained to where if she puts her claws out, it'll go into her head.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
That's some really smart restraints.
That is.
And the handcuff ones are connected to her feet ones.
Yep.
So she's like curled up in a little ball thing and she can't move.
She can't do anything.
Yeah. And the copycat attacks the family.
Kills the son and the mom.
But they get back right when this happens, and like right after this happens, and they see the copycat carrying Laura by the restraint thing, and Logan is like super worried about Xavier. He doesn't really care about Laura at this point. He just goes right on past the copycat carrying Laura and goes up and he sees Xavier and he's like telling him, it wasn't me, I'm going to help you out, I'm going to get you to the hospital. And so he takes him and he puts him in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And the guys who shut off the water show up. And they see the copycat Logan and they attack him. Which is a big mistake, because now they're gonna die.
Yeah, he, like, just...
But...
takes them all out.
He mutilates them, and it's pretty bad, so...
Wasn't one of them, one of the head got, like, sliced in half?
Yeah.
That was a nice effect. I liked it.
Yeah. The effects in this are really, really good. So, we've got Professor X in the back of the truck, and he's talking to Logan, and he passes away, dies from his wound.
Yeah. Which
is, I just still can't believe that they had Wolverine do it. It's just so hard to believe. I mean, I know it wasn't the real Wolverine, but still.
Yeah.
So Logan's like super, super pissed.
Well, yeah. I'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
It's like the one person, like, that you've been, like, closest to, like, you actually allowed a connection to, and they, like, die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be pretty pissed off and just, like, angry and just wanting just, like, to go after whoever did it. Then, of course, he does.
Yeah. And the mutant hunters are there because the mutant hunters are the ones that are controlling the copycat Logan.
Yeah.
And so we see inside the truck, like the big truck that the mutant hunters have, and the albino guy's in there, and he reaches for a grenade. And he gets two of them.
Yeah, 2 grenades.
Pulls the pins and blows the truck up.
He says, "Beware the light."
Yeah. It's a great line.
And then,
yeah. So he's dead.
Yeah. Poor Caliban.
So Logan attacks the copycat, and he's not doing too well against him.
Again, old man Logan here.
Versus young man Logan.
Old man Logan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not young anymore.
Yeah.
Technically, he's over 100 at this point.
Yeah. He's pretty friggin' old. So, the dad, even though he's been injured, he's gotten into his car, and he runs his car into Copycat Logan.
Yes.
And runs Copycat Logan onto the spike of this tractor thing. Because one of the tractors that they use on the farm, I don't know what kind it is, but he runs him through with the spike on the tractor. And he gets out, and he's still, like, moving and trying to get him. So he shoots him in the face with a shotgun. And then he falls over and dies. The dad does.
Yeah.
And then so Logan goes and picks up Laura with her little restraints. And they leave. And she sees Professor X in the back. And she's super upset. Because she's been communicating with him for quite some time. And so she really, really trusts him and really likes him. And so she's devastated that he's dead in the back.
Yeah.
And Logan cuts off the restraints with his claws.
He's like, hold still.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to cut her. Even though she can heal, he still doesn't want to cut her. Because even though they can regenerate, they can still get hurt.
And they still feel pain.
Yeah, they still feel everything that's happening to them.
Yeah. If they just can heal.
Yeah. So
Logan not as fast anymore.
Yeah, he's slowed down quite a bit. He heals probably maybe a little bit faster than normal people.
That's about it.
Yeah. But so the mutant hunters are clearing out the house and getting as much stuff as they can from it. Like salvageable things.
Yeah.
And we see this doctor guy. He has this green stuff in a vial. And he goes and gives a shot to the copycat Logan. And it helps him heal. And he heals super, super fast.
Yeah.
And this is also where we see Logan is having a ridiculously hard time healing.
Oh, yeah. It's painful. So
and,
this is where they're burying Xavier.
Uh-huh.
They bury him in an unmarked grave in the woods.
Yeah. And Logan's understandably upset.
He just starts like, well, the truck doesn't start, so he's pissed about that. He's angry about Xavier dying. He's pissed he has to take this kid up.
Uh-huh.
So he's just like full of emotions.
Yeah.
So
And
how Logan reacts is by hitting the truck with a shovel.
yeah. And the only words that he can say at the funeral, well, the little funeral that they do have, is that he's got water. For, Professor X, where they buried him. And there's a little pond, and it's in the woods. So it's a really nice area.
Yeah.
But all Logan can manage to get out is he's got water.
Yeah.
And then he goes and beats up the truck.
I mean, the man is not an emotional person, like,
Yeah.
crying-wise.
Yeah. And once he gets done beating up the truck, he's kind of tired because, he's not really healing very well.
He just passes out.
In the middle of the road.
Yeah. And while he's doing that, Laura sees that there's someone out with their dog.
Uh-huh. They're going fishing.
Yeah. And so, you see, she's looking at the truck. She sees their truck's broken. So...
Next thing we see is Logan waking up in this, little clinic thing.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the nearest town. And the doctor's telling him that he needs to go to the hospital. And he's also like, I know you're one of those mutants. I know you're one of them. You're one of the last ones left. And he's, super happy. He's like, really glad that he didn't have to tell that little girl out there that her daddy's dead.
Yeah. And he's like, you need to go, like, get yourself, like, really checked out, because that, like, whatever's inside you is killing you.
Yeah. And Logan's like, yeah, I know, thanks.
He's like, I already know. And he, like, leaves with her. And she's got keys in her hand. She's, like, ready to go.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't want her to drive, even though she drove him there.
She drove there.
Because she stole the guy's truck that was out fishing with his dog.
Yeah.
And so he's saying that they're not going to go to Eden. And she yells at him. This is the first time she talks all movie.
She says, de nada.
Mm-hmm.
Which is Spanish for you're welcome.
Yeah. For taking him there.
He's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's like, you were able to talk this entire time.
Yep. And she starts listing off names.
And she goes off on him in Spanish, and I love it.
Yeah, it's freaking funny. I didn't understand all of it, but the parts I understood were pretty funny.
Well, she's yelling at him. She's like, why are you yelling at me about all of this? You know, like, just goes off on him.
Yeah. So she's, like, trying to get him to take her to Eden, and he basically agrees. He's just they're driving. And, he's trying to convince her it's not real, but she keeps listing the names as her argument. Which I'm like, that's a very stubborn thing to do. But then we see the, mutant hunters. Again, they're in, like, a base. And the, guy with the metal hand is alive.
Yeah.
And he has the picture that Laura was looking at. And also we see for sure that the albino guy is dead.
Yeah.
And they are saying to take some of his, some samples from him because he's a tracker. They want his DNA so they can use his powers in making another mutant.
So they're driving to, North Dakota.
Yep.
And
Logan's falling asleep.
And she tells him, she's like, they stop. And she's like, you need to rest.
Yeah, you're dying, so you need to not do that.
And he's just like, you know what? Screw it. And he, like, lays down. Like, he, like, leans down on her. I'm like, it's kind of cute.
Yeah. And they've been sitting there a while, and so she decides that she's done sitting there and she wants to drive.
So she drives the rest of the way there.
Yep. And when Logan wakes up, they're in like the middle of this cliffy area. There's like a bunch of cliffs all over. And
so you see there that Laura's they found Eden.
Uh-huh.
And like there's like this little house, like little shacks on top of this hill. I'm calling it a hill, cat.
Okay.
And he's like, he passes out. He's like, are you freaking kidding me? He passes out. And he wakes up again, and he sees, like, he's in the stretcher, and he's being lifted up. And he looks down, and he's pretty high up already. So he's like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna stay. Like.
Yeah.
So they help him back up and everything, and they help heal him.
Yeah. And we see it a little bit later, but they have the same stuff that the mutant hunters gave to copycat Logan, but they're giving real Logan smaller doses because if they give him a lot of doses, it's not good, like a big dose. Laura found the bullet. She knows exactly what it is because she's got adamantium in her too, I believe, unless they did some other kind of metal, but she knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And she's mad about it, and she takes it from him.
And she's like, I know what this is, and he's like, did Trials talk to you about it? And she's like, yeah. He's like, he says that he wants to die, and he told me not to let you.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's sad and adorable at the same time.
Yeah. Then we see, it looked kind of like a chopper, but it's actually a drone. And it's looking,
it's a drone.
Looking out on the cliff. They just did a really good shot of it where you can only see part of it, so it looked like a chopper. But I'm like, there's no way these kids would not notice a chopper in the middle of the
I knew
air.
it was a drone.
But yeah,
I knew it was a drone. It's
it is
too small.
a drone. And it's like they found the kids because this is the drone that the mutant hunters are using.
Because on the back of that picture is the coordinates for Eden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, while Logan's sleeping, this part is funny.
Yeah.
It's made me giggle. So, the kids are trimming his beard down, and they get it down to how it was, like, his, normal Wolverine look. We know, like, the big, like, mutton chops on the side and everything.
Yeah, how it is in the comic books that they read.
Exactly.
And the kids, we see that the kids are in radio contact with someone in Canada.
Yeah.
And they're telling the kids that if they can get across the border, they'll be safe. So they're planning on leaving that next morning at dawn. And Logan's like, that's not a good idea. And the older kid, the, like, kind of head of this big group of kids, he gives Logan the money that Logan was originally given. And says, here you go, this is why you did it, isn't it? And Logan, like, he doesn't want it. He's like, you guys need it more than I do.
Yeah. And I was like, there we go. There's Logan's finally starting to show some emotion.
Yeah.
A little bit. He's getting old.
Well, and he knows he's really close to dying, so he's like, I'm not going to use this money. These kids are going to need it way more than me.
Yeah.
And
then he's talking with Laura about this, too.
Mm-hmm. How he's not going to go with them.
And he's saying that, you know, every time he tries to care for somebody, something bad happens.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's like, I just can't.
Yeah. So she's mad
He's
at
like,
him.
He's like, it's better if I just leave. And she's like, I'll be fine then, because
Yeah.
you don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, snap.
So he falls back asleep. And then the morning comes and all the kids are gone. And it's like late morning. Like the kids have been gone for a few hours because they left at dawn. And Logan sees the drones way out over the valley. And he sees them heading towards the woods where the kids are going. And he sees some trucks out there driving and stuff. And he knows that the kids are in danger. So he takes all the drugs. He takes them with him. And you can automatically assume that he's going to do what he should not do.
Yeah.
And he goes running after the kids because he wants to help them. And he's having a hard time. So he fights a couple of them, I think. Like the ones trailing in the back, he fights them. But then he's like having a really, really hard time. So he goes ahead and takes the entire vial of the drug.
And you shouldn't do that.
No. And we see that the hunters are starting to catch some of the kids. And we start to see lots of cool powers.
Oh, yeah. There's the ice one, I remember.
Yeah, and then the one who... It's almost like Phoenix. But I think hers is specifically with plants. Where she can lift them up and control them. And she, like, throws them into all these little pine needles and all these little branches and stuff into these guys. They're dead.
Yeah.
Then they hear Logan screaming, and they know exactly what just happened. So the kids start taking out the hunters and everything. Laura gets surrounded, but Logan runs up and helps her and lets her get away. But he has a little plan in his mind because most of the kids are captured at this point, if not all of them. And so he's gonna go try and get the kids free, but he needs Laura's help. So they make a little plan. We don't really see the whole plan, but he says, "You know what to do."
Yeah. So he goes over there, and the doctor is there,
Uh-huh.
and the doctor tells Logan that he's the son of the guy that put the adamantium in him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
And so Logan, I think it was Logan, shoots him.
Yeah, he does.
I just didn't remember seeing the gun. I think I was looking down writing something at that point, so that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah, he had a gun. He shot him.
Yeah. And so Copycat is very mad.
They just release him, and they go at it again.
It's another big fight. It's a really, really bad fight for Logan, because the drugs have worn off.
Yeah, they're fighting, and then the kids just start
helping out.
They surround, I call him Metal Hand, dude.
Yeah, that's what I call him.
And they just they get to attack him, and he's on the ground, and they're using all of their powers on him. It's a pretty cool effect there.
I liked those,
especially
effects.
with the grass is covering him up.
Yeah,
that was cool.
And one of the kids has some kind of power, and they drop a truck on to the Copycat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they think he's dead, but little do they know he's just like Logan, and so he gets up and he impales Logan with his claws and drags him and puts him on the root of this big fallen tree. So he's got a huge root bursting through his chest.
Yeah, he impales him.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Laura got a hold of the gun that Logan had, puts the adamantium bullet in there, and shoots Copycat in the head.
Yep, that's done.
Yep. And Laura sees Logan is dying, and she's trying to cut him off the root. She's trying to save him, but it's not going to work. At this point, he's done.
Yeah, he's too far gone at this point.
And she calls him Daddy, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
And he dies.
Yeah, he's right before he says it, he's like, so this is what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I was like, this part, I was crying.
And all the kids kind of come in a little semicircle up near where Logan was at, and they're watching the two of them. And then we get to see Logan has a funeral. And they buried him. They put the cross up and put the little rocks down and everything. And she's reciting, for the words she says for the funeral, she's reciting some of the lines from that Western they had watched at the hotel.
Yeah.
And I was gonna write it down, but it's actually a really long line, so...
It is.
I decided not to write it down.
It's a good one describing Logan.
Yeah, it's a really good one. But it's also really long.
Yeah, it is.
So the kids leave, and she's standing there still looking. She's gone up to the head of the grave.
Yeah, it's a cross, but then what she does, she picks up the sticks and turns it to make it an X.
Yep. And then she leaves.
And that's it.
Yep.
It's and we're all crying.
So the music for this was composed by Marco Beltrami. He got started on Dream Lover in 1993. He was the music librarian for that project in that movie. And he's known for iRobot from 2004, World War Z from 2013, Knowing from 2009, Blade 2 from 2002. He's the composer for all of those. He's nominated for 2 Oscars, And he is currently working on a movie that's coming out later on this year, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which I'm super excited about. And also, he's composing the music for the new Twilight Zone that just came on a few weeks ago. I really liked the music in this.
I did too. I mean, it didn't distract or anything.
Yeah.
It added to it. It wasn't like random music they put in just because they feel like they needed to put music in.
Yeah. So they did a good job with it. It's all really good. Comparison. There's a lot to compare this to, but I don't really... I mean, it's just so much. There's all the X-Men movies, there's all the comics, there's all the cartoons. It's just a lot of material.
It's like, this is the third and the Wolverine trilogy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's a lot. I mean, there's the comics. This mixes up a couple of the big comics because there's the Old Man series, and then there's the X-23. That's Laura. And X-24 is Clone Logan.
Yeah, I meant to say.
There's all of that. Those are all those comics. And then, even Laura, she has, her own set. And, this is funny, because I've actually seen these comics, because my brother reads them. She actually, hangs out with Deadpool a lot.
Yeah. That's kind of funny.
I love that. I was like, that's really cool. But it's Deadpool, so, So, trivia?
Yeah, trivia. I don't think I have any more for...
This is just for, just with the Wolverine, how, Hugh Jackman got the Wolverine thing going.
Okay.
How he got the part. So, I thought this was awesome. So, Hugh Jackman is originally he's a singer, originally.
Yep. From Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma. He was he is from Australia. So, he did productions down there. He was in London doing, Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah.
And he auditioned for Wolverine when he was doing Oklahoma still. And that's how he got the part. And this is Wolverine is one of his first big things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what catapulted him into the movies.
Well, and he played the character for 20 years.
Him and Patrick Stewart actually have, this is another trivia, they actually share a Guinness Book World Records for playing a superhero character, a comic book character, for so long. Live action films, the same character for years.
I think it's 20-something years. 20-something, maybe almost 30 now, I think.
The first X-Men movie was
2000 something, wasn't it? 2000.
I don't even remember
I don't know.
It was early 2000s. Let me look. Hold up.
I'm gonna say between 2001 and 2003, sometime in there.
2000.
Oh, that's close.
2000. Yes. 2000 is that. So they've been playing the character for, ever.
20 years.
Yeah. There's that. What else? The movie we were talking about, the one that they kept, the one that Xavier and Laura was watching, is called Shane.
Oh, okay.
And Sir Patrick Stewart actually was improvising during that scene because he actually did watch it when he was younger.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so they just let him talk about it.
That's
They're like,
awesome.
You know what? You've been doing this long enough. Just,
That's awesome.
Trying to think what else. Where's another one? I was thinking. Trying to remember. Oh, so this is going back to the comics. Well, there's some weird things about the comics and how you got the name Logan and how you got the name James Howlett.
Okay.
So with that, I was looking this up. So for the longest time, he was just called Logan. But then because he didn't really have a backstory at all. Like, at all.
Yeah.
And then, so they finally decided to give him one. This is actually pretty recent, like, less than, 10, 15 years ago. They gave him a backstory. That his parents, he was on a farm, and his parents were, the Howletts. But what happened was the mom had an affair with the farmhand, whose last name was Logan.
Oh, okay.
And so when, they found out about that, yeah, shit just went to hell. And so that's kind of what happened. So that's where they get the name. That's one story of how he got the name Logan, was from his dad, biological dad.
Okay.
He used his last name for it. That's one story from the comics.
Yeah.
And there's this other story of how he got Logan was this... It's one of the older comics about how he got it from, this leprechaun or something.
Oh,
weird.
Okay.
I know.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But again, I love this character, so I did some more research on it. It's, again, the last in the trilogy. And it's his last time. Both of them, their last time for playing the characters.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another one. So, when Dafne Keen auditioned to be Laura, she asked the directors, the people she's auditioning with, she's like, can I improvise with them? With, Hugh Jackman. And they're like, yeah. And so he starts talking and she cuts him off and completely just rambles into him, in full Spanish. She just goes off on him and they're like, whoa, you got it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, she asked, she's like, can I improvise? They're like, yeah, go ahead.
That's
and
awesome.
it startled him, Hugh Jackman so much. He's like, she's perfect.
Yeah. That's great.
I think that's about it that I can think of. Yeah. I mean, there's more, but I think those are pretty big ones.
Okay. So the only list other than ours it's been on is the 2018 list, because this came out in 2017. So,
yeah.
It was on the 2018 list. It was number 211, which is where it is at right now. So it's not really moving much. It's just kind of staying right there. So previously, the number 206 movie in 2010, Persona from 1966. In 2012, Sleuth from 1972. In 2014, Stalker from 1979. In 2016, Amoris Perros from 2000, which is our movie from last week.
Yep.
2018 list, Mad Max Fury Road from 2015, which is coming up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And as of today, when we are recording, Andrei Rublev from 1966, which is, I believe...
It's on our list, I thought.
I think it's a bit away, but I do believe it is on the list. Yeah, it's number 178.
Yeah, there it is.
So yeah, that's where all that's at. Favorite line?
There's a bunch of lines that I like, mostly because I really like this movie. I mean, one of the ends, there's just a lot of lines that I like. Bad shit happens to people I care about. And then she says, then I'll be fine.
Yeah, I wrote that one down too.
That's a good one. The one, I think, this is probably, I'll just keep it short. This is probably my favorite one. Don't be what they made you.
I like that one.
That's probably my favorite out of all of them.
The only other two that I had, besides the one you already said, You're Waiting for Me to Die, and beware the light.
Yeah.
But I like that one that you just said.
The don't be what they made you.
Yeah.
I think that one pretty much, it fits for, it's just good advice he's giving as he's dying.
Yeah.
It fits well.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, this being, like, the last Wolverine movie. Like, last time we're gonna see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah. So, rating. What did you give it?
I gave this a solid 9.
Alright.
Solid 9. Yeah, I mean, I love this character. Hugh Jackman is great in it. I mean, even though he's, like, too tall for the character, because in the comics, actually, Wolverine's really short.
Yeah.
He's, like, 5'3" in the comics.
That happens a lot, because a lot of actors are really freaking tall. I don't know why they find the tallest people in the world to be actors, but they do.
Yeah, because Hugh Jackman is, like, 6'3".
Yeah.
And Wolverine in the comics is, like, 5'3". So
Yeah.
it's a foot difference.
Uh-huh.
But he does so well with the character that you could overlook it.
Yeah.
Completely. I mean, again, this is, like, one of his best performances as a Wolverine.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's amazing. The effects are really good. It's a good story. It's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
With him. And with Xavier, too.
Uh-huh. I
I
agree.
love Laura. She's a great character. I love to see more things with her.
Yeah, I would like
in the
I
future.
would like for them to go into a little, like, I don't even care if it's a TV show with
Yeah, something with
that
her.
girl. And I feel like Disney might, because now they own this property, so they might do something with it, unless they just decide to reboot X-Men, which I'm not sure. We don't really know what they're going to be doing with it, so.
I've, like, if they I don't want them to reboot X-Men, because, like, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine to me.
Yeah.
That's, like, I'm like, oh.
Well, they're letting him have a say in the next Wolverine anyways, so.
Yeah, because he's been playing the character so long,
Yeah.
so, yeah. I mean, yeah, I gave it a solid 9. I think the only reason why I took points off was because he died, and Xavier died. So.
I gave it an 8. Because I was just thinking, like, all the movies... Because when I've got a good movie like this, I just have to think about the movies I gave a 10, and the movies I gave a 9, and the movies I gave an 8, and the movies I gave a 7, and I have to think, like, where in my mind this fits for me, and I was just like, the movies I gave 9s and 10s, I feel like, to me, are just a little bit better. So,
Okay.
This one, like, there's nothing really wrong with this one to me, it's just, to me, this one fits more in my 8s rather than 9s or 10s, so.
Yeah, and it feels more like a 9 to me. For,
Yeah.
like, sure. Like, this ranks up with me, like, with Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And that was my, like, another one of my 9s I gave. And with, the other one I gave was, what was it? The Help.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that, especially for me, and again, like, I love the character.
Yeah.
So, again, that always bumps it up for me.
Yeah. So I think that's all for that. Our next film is Spotlight from 2015, and that is the Best Picture winner from 2015.
Yes.
So that'll be coming out next Friday. And at the end of this month, we are going to be releasing our Disney event. The 2 movies that I picked for that are Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
And I picked Aladdin and Princess and the Frog.
And just like our other events, this one is going to be 4 episodes, 1 for each movie. None of these are on our list, and these are just personal opinions, movies that we really enjoy that Disney did. Because we both really like Disney movies. So we are offering premium. If you would like to become a premium member, it's just $1 a month, and you can get uncut episodes, early release episodes when they are available, and special monthly episodes every month for just $1. If you want to be a step above that, $5 a month, you will be able to pick a movie of your choice every 50 movies. We did just cut it off, so it's down to 4 now. From 51 all the way, from 51 all the way up to the number 1 movie. So,
yes,
technically number 200 all the way up to number 1. So
yeah, because we're getting close to doing 50 movies already.
Yeah.
Wow. We still have a long ways to go.
We do, but we've come quite a ways too, and we've watched some really good movies.
And some really crappy movies.
Yeah.
That should never be on this list.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
It happens. So yeah, if you would like to support us that way, that is available there for you. Our special monthly episode for April, which will be out the same day as our Disney event, is we each picked either an actor or director to do like a little expose on. I picked Steven Spielberg.
And I picked Michael Keaton.
So that will be out the same day as the Disney event, the very last day of April. And if you don't want to pay for premium, but you're interested in the information that we are going to be providing about Steven Spielberg and Michael Keaton, you can purchase just that single episode for $1. So we would really appreciate it if you would leave us some ratings and reviews. We'd like to know how we're doing. Because at the moment, we just have our contest winner, Matt, who joined us for Dead Poet Society. That's the only review we have. But we'd really like some more. We'd like to know how we're doing, what you think we need to keep doing, what you think we maybe need to change, if there's something else we want us to include. So yeah, if you could leave us a rating and review, that would be really great. Also, if you could share the show with your friends and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that would be great. We'd just really like to know how we're doing. We'd like to get some more listeners, all that.
Yes, please. More followers on social media. We're working towards a goal.
Yes.
I don't know if we'll get there, but
yeah, we'll find out.
We'll see.
So yeah, you can contact us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can email us if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns. What's your opinion of a movie? Did you agree with us? Did you not agree with us?
Yeah.
Stuff
Is there anything you'd like us to add at all? Or you think we're wasting our time doing certain things? Just let us know.
Yeah. So our music, all of it is by Audio Binger, and you can find him on Facebook, YouTube, and he has a website, audiobinger.net.
Yep.
And that's all we've got for Logan. So we will talk to you next week with Spotlight.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.